Hello to all, welcome to the channel Cloud Knowledge. This video is part 2 of the alter row transformation in data flow activity. So I recommend you to watch the part 1 to better understand this video. Okay, so if you have already watched this video, and I consider you will watch that first and then come to visit this video, you'll already know that we have covered the two conditions of alter row. Okay, insert if and delete if, and the remaining ones are update if, upsert if. So in this video, we will be exploring these two conditions. So we don't want the existing ones. We want first as updative. Okay. Updative means if something is there in your target, let's go back to the SQL database which we have inserted. So this was our final table target where we have performed the insert and the delete operation. Okay, insert if and delete if. This is the data. Now update. Let's say for some of the row, let's say for the 728, the color column was having blank, right? And we want in the source data to get this color column value for this product ID rectified and to have some value. Let's say what I'm saying is like the source data was having this null kind of data quality issue, and we have rectified it into the source data. So let's go to rectify here, and here for 728 product ID we'll mention the color. Okay, we'll mention the color, let's say as blue. Okay, and we'll save it and we'll preview the data too. So here for 728 we have got the color as blue. Now in the alter row, what happens is that it will update. Okay, it will update on the condition. So, and we know that here we have updated the value of color to blue. So we want the same to be present into our target, which is having the color as null. Okay, so for this purpose, since the data is already cached, what we'll do, we'll disable the data flow debug option and we'll re-enable it. So first let's disable it and then re-enable it, and in the condition we can mention that we want to do it for the product ID. Okay, 728. Okay, so we'll mention here in the condition product ID equals to 728. Okay, this is giving us an error. So the error is again the type error. So we'll save and finish, go to the source. In the projection we'll make the type of product ID as integer. Okay, because we know in the CSV by default all columns are string. Then we'll go to the sync level, and at the sync level we have the settings. So update method, now this time we have already performed previously in the last operation as delete. So we'll remove this delete, and now we are doing an update. So we'll click on update. Okay, and the key column would be product ID only, and we do not want to truncate the table. We want the data as is, and only on that data we want the update operation to be performed. So mind you, even though you have written the alter row condition here in the alter row transformation, if you have not selected the correct update method here, you won't get the correct result into the target. So the setting is very important. Okay, so do this setting and now save it, validate it. Now go to the pipeline, execute it. So the debug run completed. Let's go to the SQL database, click on the run, and here we can see this row, the last row. For this, the color option is updated. It was previously null and now it is blue. Okay, the rest of the columns are as is. So only the update operation we have performed, right? So we have performed the update operation. Now we want to perform the operation called upsert. Okay, update. Okay, if the data already exists in the target table. If not, then insert if it is a new row. altogether. Okay, so we do not want to update it, so we'll remove this. We want to only perform the upsert operation, update or else insert. So for this purpose, we need to first like modify our source data. Let's go back to our source data. Okay, we'll make the changes, let's say for our first record. Okay, 720 product ID. For this, let's say I have to update the color from black to let's say red. Okay, I've updated the color here, so it will be upsert. Okay, means it will update the data into the target table if it already exists in the target table. So here you can see in the target table 720 already exists with the color as black, so it will do an update, it will change it to red. Okay, so let's first do the upsert like this. Okay, so we have changed the color from black to red. We'll save it. Okay, and here the condition will be expression builder, the product ID is equal to 720. Okay, save and finish. At the sync level, we'll go to the settings tab. Here we have performed update. Now we want to perform upsert, allow upsert. Okay, the key column will be product ID only, so this setting is also done. Now since we have performed a change into the source data, what we'll do, we'll disable and re-enable the data flow debug option. Re-enable the data flow debug option. So from the target, we can see the color is black, which will now be changed to red. Okay, so data flow option debug is enabled. Now we'll validate and then we'll perform a debug run. We'll wait for the debug run to complete. So here's the debug run in progress. So it's completed. We'll go to the query, execute it again, and we can see that for the product ID 720, the color has changed to red. Okay, whatever was there into the source. Now this is performed an update of upsert. Okay, on this on the basis of the condition which we gave. So now in the upsert, how it will perform the insert operation? It will perform insert operation only if that record is not present into the target table. So for this purpose, what we will do, we'll go to the target and we will delete one of the rows. Okay, so let's say 720 only we want to delete. Okay, so we'll create a new query and we'll write delete from product alter row example where product ID equals 720. Okay, we'll execute it. So query succeeded. We'll go back to the query one. We'll try to see if 720 is deleted. So we can see that 720 product ID is already deleted. Now if we perform the same upsert condition, or we want to perform this same condition which we have mentioned as product ID is equals to 720. So what happens is that this 720 exists in the source, but in the target it is not present. So it will perform an insert. Okay, so let's now validate the mapping and let's now again perform a debug run. Let's wait for the debug run to complete. It succeeded. We'll go back to the query and here we were not having the 720. We are adding it. So now after executing, we can see that 720 product ID is inserted. Okay, so we have performed both the operations of upsert, update as well as insert. Okay, I think you have understood very simple examples on all the alter row conditions. Okay, so this was part 2 where I've covered updative and upsert if, and in the previous part, that is part 1, insert and delete is already covered. So thank you for watching the video. Happy learning.